for most kids, summer is officially over. It's back to school today.
You know, it's these transitions can be really difficult for kids and for parents. The end of summer and back into the regular routine. So how do you navigate all of this? UW Health senior psychologist Shilagh Mirgain is back with us with some advice. Nice to see you.
Hi, happy start of the school year.
Yeah. It really feels like no matter how old your children are, it is a transition every year to kind of get back into this routine. And you've got some great advice where you start by saying celebrate the start of school rather than dread, you know, everybody's tired, nobody got to bed on time.
Yeah.
Prepare to celebrate it, right?
Absolutely. I think kids and parents can have some anxiety, trepidation, even dread about the start of the school year. So I encourage people to really celebrate it. Parents, make a big deal about it. Have a little party. Take your child's picture when they come home from school, or do something fun this weekend to really set the expectation that this year is going to be the best year yet with school.
And you have a thing called Help Them Find Their Why.
Yes, you know, what's going to motivate children to put in the hard work during the school year, to turn off Netflix or that computer game and get to the books. And one way that parents really can do this is to connect it with why, this concept of why put in the time. And when we think about the why, it might be to be a better basketball player, I'm going to put in the hoops. I want to get into a good college. My favorite one is, I just want you, my child, to become the best possible version of you. You're the only one in all the time on the planet, and your goal is to really move in the direction of your potential. So every day in school, learn something new so you can really thrive and flourish, not just now, this year, but in your life.
I love that because that applies for kindergartners and kids going off to college as well.
Absolutely.
Trying to find your why is something that is evergreen.
You know, and when I was in school, kids said, well, I don't need to learn this. I'm never going to use this in my life.
Yeah, and you think about, you might not learn it, but you're going to learn something from the experience of actually learning that's going to help you in your job down the road, or maybe taking those ACTs or taking that first college exam. We're always training. So each day in school, that why really increases the motivation. It's kind of that gift to their future self.
And set goals.
Yes, and in particular with a growth mindset, the biggest thing I see for kids is anxiety about failing. They almost get paralyzed, and then if they make a mistake or have a setback, they kind of collapse and shut down. And what can happen is kids get into this fixed mindset that I only have so much talent and ability or athleticism or even intelligence or beauty, that it's fixed. And then if they make a mistake, it's, you know, it shows everyone I'm not good enough. But instead, we want to have a growth mindset. So when we're setting goals, we're much more interested in the action, not the outcome. So when we think about growth, it's that our potential is unlimited. Who knows? And that's true. Our athleticism, our intelligence, we actually have more abilities. So focus much more on the action, not the outcome. So, okay, I'm going to study really hard tonight, or I'm going to get outside and shoot some hoops or things like that.
And focus on the good is another piece of advice you have.
Yeah, it's easy to dwell on what didn't go right. So at the end of the day, maybe you're coming together as a family, focus on the new and good. What went right? What did you learn? What do you want to celebrate or feel good about? Because then at the end of the week, kids start to feel like, hey, things went well. Things went my way. Yeah, I had some slip-ups, but there is some things to really feel like, hey, I'm doing okay.
And one thing I hear in common through all this is communication.
Yes.
Talking to your kids, listening to them.
Yeah, I can't say enough about family dinner time. You know, they show that when families get together and just be present, turn off the cell phones, kids do better academically, socially, they stay out of trouble. So, and if you can't do that family dinner time, try to spend a little time, maybe even near bedtime, where you just listen, where you're just present with your kids.
Do you ever think parents need to back off a little bit? I think parents sometimes, especially in our generation, we are so hands-on with our kids. I mean, is the counterbalance of that to kind of just let them experience a little bit and let them fly a little?
Yeah, that kind of helicopter parent of always
guilty
hovering.
as charged.
Yeah,
Yes.
and sometimes kids learn the most when they can make choices, when they do make mistakes. You know, they kind of fail and then they pick themselves back up. So we want to really kind of support their resilience.
Yes.
And the best thing you can tell your child is, you got this. You're going to figure this out, versus jumping in right away and problem solving it.
Good advice.
Very good.
Get off to the right foot. Back to school. Shilagh, thanks for being with us.
Great to see you.
Oh, yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
See you soon. And we'll be